Hi everybody. I just wanted to pop on quickly and let you know how great you all did on the quiz overall. There were lots of A's, so it's a great start. Keep up the hard work. Keep pressing forward. Don't lose that momentum. And I'm going to demonstrate one of the problems that's a little bit longer in the quiz that a few of you may have struggled with just a little bit, and hopefully that'll clarify any questions that you might have about it. But remember, anytime there's a question, please let me know. And also a reminder, you can review any graded assignment anytime after the due date. So please make sure you review those, especially the quizzes prior to taking the exam, to make sure that you clarify any questions you might have. Okay, so again, let me know if you have questions about the quiz, and hopefully you'll do great on the exam. So good luck on that. So in this problem, which I think you had one very similar to this in your homework, the idea here is we have to really know the difference between product and period cost. So I have bracketed out a few things I want us to talk about here. So for example, in number 3 and 4, the idea here again is the period versus product cost. Remember, period costs are expensed when they're incurred. So like number 3, these are selling and admin expenses. So they would be expensed when incurred. So if you look down our little spreadsheet for number 3, you would see we paid them, so cash is going down, and it's an expense. We're expensing it when it's incurred because it's a period cost. Expenses negatively affect net income. And let me see if I can point at this. So expenses negatively affect net income. Anything that affects net income affects retained earnings in the same way, okay? So number 4, we paid production workers. So that is different from a period cost. Production workers are product cost. That's our labor, our direct labor. So if you look at number 4 here, you can see we paid it, so cash is going down $10,000. But notice we are not expensing it. It's actually included as part of our product cost, which is inventory cost, until the product is sold. So it's increasing our inventory. And also, just as a reminder, we want to make sure after every transaction that our balance sheet is balancing. In this problem, we didn't have any liabilities, so we want to make sure that assets are equal to equity since liabilities are 0. All right, so moving on to number 5 and 6. In this one, same idea, or these two, the same idea. We have to remember the difference in period and product cost. Again, period costs are expensed when incurred. Product costs are not expensed until the product is sold. So product costs go into inventory until we actually sell the product. All right, so in number 5, we paid for furniture used in selling and administrative offices. That has nothing to do with the factory. So this would be a selling and admin expense. They also tell us that it had a $1,600 salvage value and a 4-year useful life. So we actually have to remember how to calculate depreciation here. So if our cost is $9,600 and it has a residual value of $1,600, we take that out because we don't want to depreciate it below residual value. And we divide that by the useful life. So basically that's $8,000 divided by 4, which is equal to $2,000 per year in depreciation expense. So you can see that depreciation expense in letter 5B. So let's go to 5A really quickly first. So we purchase the equipment. Now this is selling and admin equipment. So cash is going down, and we put that into office furniture because it's still an asset and we use it up over time in the idea of depreciation. So we're going to cost it in depreciation over time. So that's what happens in 5B. So notice it's decreasing office furniture because we've got really what's called a net account here. So it's net of depreciation. So its accumulated depreciation account is really housed in there with it. Is what they're doing. And that's depreciation expense. So again, we have an expense which negatively affects net income, and anything that affects net income also affects retained earnings. So that helps us balance our equation. So I won't do quite as many calculations with number 6. The idea with number 6, however, is a little different because it is for manufacturing equipment. And it says that it had a $1,000 estimated salvage value or residual value. Those terms are used interchangeably, and a 5-year useful life. So the depreciation expense comes out to be $3,000. But notice we don't expense that depreciation right now because we don't expense product cost until a product is sold. So that depreciation associated with the manufacturing equipment simply goes into inventory. Okay, so we put that into our inventory account. The last one I'll kind of review really quickly is the sale of goods. So remember, anytime you make a sale, there's always two transactions. That's why we have a 7A and a 7B. So 7A is actually the selling of the good. It said we sold them for $35,000. So cash is going up and revenues are going up, and that affects net income positively, which then affects your retained earnings. So our balance sheet balances in 7A. 7B, we have to record the cost of what we sold. So remember the difference in what you sell it for, the revenues, and the cost of what you sold, that's your profit. Okay, so in 7B, we're recording the cost of what we sold, which was $4,000. So we're reducing the amount of our inventory because we sold $14,000 worth of goods. That, of course, is now expensed in our income statement. And again, anything that affects net income affects retained earnings.